My IF routine might not be traditional, but it works for me. So the way that I choose to do IF works very well for me right now because of the type of schedule that I have. I typically start my fast at 8 p.m. every day, most days. Or should I say that's the latest that I would allow myself to eat. I don't eat past 8 p.m. I follow what's called a 16-8 intermittent fasting schedule. So what that means is that I fast or I'm not eating for 16 hours, and then once I complete those 16 hours, I have an 8-hour eating window. Do I eat this entire 8 hours? Of course not. That's just my time frame in which I am allowed to eat. So, for example, I wake up very early in the morning, 4:30, 5:30 most days 5:30. And then I usually start working by 6:30 a.m. I work from 6:30 a.m. until about 12 noon. So at that point, I've technically completed my fast. And if I choose to stop my fast or stop fasting at 12, I can, and then I can eat off and on until 8 p.m. at night. For some people, my fasting schedule would not work because of how early I get up. Some people have to eat as soon as they get up. I don't. As a matter of fact, because I've been doing this so long, rarely am I hungry when I first wake up. Occasionally I am, but it's very rare now. So me getting up so early and being busy until I get hungry around noon, sometimes later, works out perfectly for me. Now, if you're one of those people who have to eat very early, then you can still follow a 16-8, but you would have to more than likely skip dinner or something. My preferred fast method, though, is to skip breakfast. So from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m., like I said, that's my window of eating. And that does not mean that I can't have anything to drink within this time frame. I do, but I usually do the majority of my drinking, or try to consume the majority of my liquids and beverages during the time that I am fasting. So while I'm working, that's usually, when I'm drinking, trying to get the most of my beverages in, especially since we can't or we shouldn't eat and drink at the same time, post-op. That's one of the fastest ways to trigger a dumping episode. So you shouldn't do that. So when I have my 8-hour eating window, my main focus is eating, because I know that by 8 p.m. I have to shut it down. So that's why I do most of my drinking up until noon. Like I said, I will drink every once in a while, but I space it out in between my meals by at least 15, at max about 30-35 minutes. And I eat 3 to 4 times within that window. So usually I would have lunch, a snack, dinner, a snack, and then it's time to fast. That's typically how my IF schedule works. Like I said, I skip breakfast, so no breakfast for me. Noontime, if I want to stop fasting, I can, and then I can have lunch. a break in between. I might want something to drink. A break in between. I'll have a snack. A break in between. I might have something else to drink. A break in between. Now I'm having dinner. A break in between. After dinner, I'll have after that break, I'll have a snack if I still feel like I need one. Sometimes I don't. Like I said, 3, max 4. And then after that, it's time to fast. So I can drink as long as it's sugar-free, calorie-free beverages until I go to bed. And that's, in a nutshell, how it typically works for me. If I follow a 16-8 schedule and I stop at 12, like I said, I can eat up until 8 p.m. But the thing of it is I love the 16-8 because of the flexibility of it. So what I mean by that is, say I want to eat before noon. All I would have to do is just adjust the time that I would start fasting that evening. Works out simply. And then on the other hand, say that for whatever reason I'm eating past 8 o'clock. I had a very late dinner, or I was out late and I still need to eat dinner. All I would have to do is just adjust the time that I stop fasting the very next day. So it always balances out for me. It's super simple once you get the hang of it. It might take some getting used to, and you also want to make sure that you're doing it properly. Some people feel like they're fasting just because they're drinking liquids, but that's not necessarily the case if those liquids contain calories. And it's best not to have any calories. However, everyone can't go with strictly sugar-free, calorie-free liquids. Some people need that coffee with a hint of creamer or something. I would say if you have to have some form of calories, make them liquid preferably, and make sure that you don't exceed, I would say at most, 20, 25, if you gotta push it, 50 calories. But honestly, I try not to have any calories that entire time. And so that works really well, for me. I'm rarely thirsty. I'm rarely hungry because I'm eating, within my window. I eat enough. I can only eat small amounts as it is, so it doesn't take much for me to get full. So it works out perfectly for me. So that's basically it in a nutshell. That's how my fasting schedule works. If you have any questions about it, or you follow a fasting schedule that differs from mine, drop it down below. I would love to know about it, and whether or not it works for you. If you have any questions, like I said, drop them down below. I'll be more than happy to answer or respond. I post a lot of my fasts, my recorded fasts, on my Instagram, so check me out over on Instagram at Pear Shape Weight Loss. And if you haven't done so already, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.